Hope that
What's up, people?
this Monday has been a Monday like it's been a Monday for us. It has been one hell of a
Oh,
fucking Monday, huh? Has it not?
that's right, girl. It's been a hell of Monday, people, man.
Hell of a Monday.
You know, it's been a long weekend and a hell of a Monday, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's straight up. My true seekers, man. You guys are gonna like what you hear on this one because I told you it came. And, we're gonna share some shit with y'all, man. You know, so if you like hearing the truth, hit the like button, share it, and pass it on. You know, subscribe.
Yeah.
Tell your friends what's really going on.
Yeah, let them know.
Right, baby? You know?
We can't be the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
ones going through it, right?
Right.
Let's see. How's that?
You gotta share my shit with your homies, man.
Shit, yeah.
Saludos a todos. Saludos a todos. I send mine to all my Spanish speaking community. You know, anybody listening. Quien habla español. Yo mando saludos de nuestra parte aquí. Espero que todo vaya bien, todo ande bien, y todo eso y más. You know, baby girl, we were telling the truth seekers here, man. Last time we were on here about the big setup.
Yeah.
Well, it came, folks, and it came in the form of medical neglect, medical malfeasance, and deliberate medical indifference, and all above. Eighth Amendment, cruel and unusual punishment violation, everything. I told you guys it was coming. I told you the setup was coming. The retaliation was coming.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And, boy, it came. But it came subtly in the face, behind the mask of the medical system here at CSP-SAC, and especially for the RHU AgSeg doctor that works for our building, Dr. Lang, started his bullshit
Why don't you
against
tell them
me. And
exactly the political bullshit behind it? I mean, the part that's hard to wrap our head around.
Okay, so let me give you guys a little back history of how these people work and some of the stuff you can't comprehend really out there unless you've been through it. Well, when you're fucking with the medical system and CDCR, they try to save money at all costs, at the cost of a prisoner's life, his well-being, you know, no matter what. You know, if they can save $1 off each prisoner in prison, you know, that's $120,000 for the entire system. They'll do it at all costs. They don't care if you got cancer. They don't care if you got heart disease. They don't care if you got heart problems like I got. They don't care. So here's the thing. As y'all know, I have been for the past 5 years on a federal RICO indictment. So that put me on what they call United States Marshal Service. Basically, I was in their custody in the Eastern District. The Marshals, the Eastern District. Now, what they did was they indicted me, took me out of the state system, made a special contract to rehouse me back into the state system as a federal detainee pre-trial. Therefore, basically putting my state conviction on the shelf until my federal case was done. Okay, so I have been on federal status for 5 years until February, March of this year, when the BOP, Bureau of Prisons, refused to accept my custody and accept me coming to the system. They They rejected it. Well, right there it changed. Right there it changed. And as y'all know, under the last year I had a surgery set up. CDCR set up a surgery 4 times. And knowing on the back end, the United States Marshal Service had the final call, for any outside the prison service, medical services, specialty services, whatever. Well, CCR would put in the request for, Dr. Lang would put in the request for surgery, send it to the feds for prior approval, and they would deny it, squash my surgery. They did that 4 times last year, 4 times in a row, in about a 10-month period. And in about, I would say, February of this year, I got Dr. Lang to reorder the surgery for my lower spine, and told him, look, man, I got a feeling they'll probably approve it. So he put it in, another order on it, and they did it.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They went ahead and did the surgery that I needed all this time, which was partially, I would say 75% why I took the plea bargain, the plea deal on the RICO case, so I can go and be done with the CDCR corruption and the medical corruption for the healthcare and CDCR. I could be done with all of it and just go to the feds, and their medical there is 20 times better than this shit. And they're not near as corrupt as CDCR medical is. Well, I had the surgery, came back to the prison. I was feeling pretty decent for a couple of days, and then I started having problems. And then a month and a half later, I started getting a little worse and worse. So I asked the doctor, look, man, why don't you do an x-ray and make sure the screws and the hardware are intact, like they're supposed to be. Well, I got screws right above it, about 2 inches away from this new area in my spine. And so they do the first x-ray about a week and a half ago. Well, the radiologist pointed something out, and I won't say his name. No way. But he's all right, decent guy. And he pointed out one of these screws in the old area of the last surgery I had 4 years ago. It looked bent all of a sudden. Well, this surgery I just had in April, they were not gentle at all. They go in and they were using hammers and chisels, and they were banging screws into my pelvic bone, right? And through my spine. They were welding it together, basically. And one of the cops that sat in there and watched it said, man, Daniel, you had bone chips flying everywhere out of your back, man. They were using hammers and everything. So, any person of average IQ and smart and common sense knows, well, if you got a little area right above it where there's screws in a prior injury site and a prior surgery site, you might want to take it kind of easy. Well, they didn't. So the radiologist pointed out that one of the screws used to be horizontal, perfectly straight. Well, now it's tilted downwards and bent, and it looks bent on the film. So I'm like, okay, well, a week later I see the RN for the unit I'm in, the ad. She notices that same screw, and she starts to panic. Well, now this is 2 independent confirmation sources right here, right? Well, so me and her go over the film, we look at that one, and she don't like it, so she recommends me see the Dr. Lang ASAP. Well, this guy, on his own, had already sent out some fucking chrono to me saying everything's normal. everything's normal. You're good. Everything's normal. You're good. Well, I'm not good when I can only walk about 40 or 50 steps, and then my pain shoots from a 5, 6 up straight to a 10. No in between. And I get really fucked up. And I don't know what's going on. So anyways, on Friday, he arbitrarily and willfully cut my medications. And in the past, he had mentioned this, right? I'm going to tell you what he said to me. And this is why I got a problem with this guy now. He goes, well, Mr. Daniel, you're no longer federal. You're back in our custody. You're back in CDCR's custody. You're no longer federal. You know, we can take your medications and change your medications. You know, my pain meds, my heart meds. I get 3 or 4 heart meds and a blood pressure, and I get a pain med, 2 different ones. And so he goes, you know, you're no longer federal. You're back in CDCR's custody.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And we can change some things around with your medications. So hang on, let me call back.
Well, he can really turn a story into a story. Yeah, I'll let him get on. I'm trying to get to the point here. The point is absolutely atrocious. When you finally hear it, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" Because it's all wrong. All wrong.
You have a prepaid call from an incarcerated individual at the California State Prison for Crozet, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Are you there?
Yep, we're here.
Okay. So when he said that to me about the custody changing, and I'm no longer federal, I'm back in the state custody, and that they can change this and change that, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, why would my custody have anything to do with your medical professional treatment plan and changing it, right now? Why? What are you benefiting? Why would you even do that? Why would you even say this to me? He couldn't answer, right? He just said, oh, you know how the higher-ups are. The higher-ups. You know how they are. Well, and I brought up to him the fact that my heart doctor, my cardiologist that did 2 heart surgeries on me in the past 3 years, said that I've been on all these meds for so long that when it comes time to taking me off the pain meds or the heart meds, they should hospitalize me, put me on IV and under observation in the hospital because of the real unstable condition my heart's in, and I've already had 2 heart surgeries for atrial fibrillation. That's irregular heartbeat that can cause a stroke. And so I get a bunch of meds for it, and I get pain meds in conjunction with it. And my body's so saturated with this crap that my cardiologist felt that it's necessary to put something in my file. So when CDCR tries this, because he's been through it with these people, he knows how shitty and corrupt these doctors are here at CSP Sacramento in Folsom. He told me flat out that he's putting something in there, making a recommendation on this issue because he's he don't want to just leave me hanging like that because he knows these doctors are dirty. Well, sure enough, folks, on Friday it came, and he started his med reduction. And I sent word to him. He didn't talk to me. He didn't do nothing. He just made a decision on his own to cut my shit.
And he refused to go over the X-rays on your new situation.
Right.
You need to fix the volume
Right, he
again. I've got
refuses.
feedback.
Oh, okay. He refuses to sit me down and let's go over the old X-rays and show the new X-rays, and let's see the difference of this screw, right? And how is it that I tell this doctor, look, doc, something's wrong in my body, man. I'm not here to play games. I don't want no more additional medication. No, I am in pain only when I'm standing and I'm walking more than like 100 steps. You know, something's going on. I don't know what it is. You're the doctor. You got to help me figure this out. And, you know, and then he takes my pain meds and reduces them along with other shit. And then he says my x-ray was good twice, he said this. But yet he fails to show me the film and go over it with me and show me where that screw is not bent. Well, the last time I seen him, I laid on my side. You know, physical evaluation. That guy felt the damn fucking screw head protruding out of my back. He goes, oh, this ain't normal.
But suddenly now it's
Sherlock.
normal. But suddenly now it's normal when he has to like move forward with your medical care.
Right.
You know, the
Right.
point being
On CDCR's level now.
the point being that now that you're no longer under the supervision of the feds,
Oh, the feds.
his professional opinion has suddenly changed.
Yeah, all of a sudden. And, you know, when you go to a doctor, right, and you're telling doc, I'm feeling some bad shit going on, and you've had 6 back surgeries, 2 heart surgeries, and he just arbitrarily cuts your shit down. It's like, what are you doing? Like, fuck your medication, right? But you need to go over this x-ray and show me where...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Where you're saying everything looks normal. You know, first of all, this guy was brought into this building about a year ago to cut medication costs. How do I know this? Well, the nurses tell me. The nurses told me that he's cut everybody's shit, and for some reason, they couldn't figure out why he wasn't bothering me. At the time, he wasn't. He wasn't cutting my shit. He wasn't bothering my prescriptions or nothing. He was just renewing them, and he was doing it decent. And then all of a sudden, bam, he made that statement. You're no longer federal, you're ours now. And sure enough, folks, it came. Well, I think it's just the beginning. You know, this is just one dynamic of their setup. This is one dynamic of
Didn't he
their
also
setup.
say he doesn't care what happens to you and pretty much shut the door on your face?
Right. So today, I went and spoke with the RN. And the RN tried to go talk to him for me. And he basically kicked him out of there like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm not, you know, whatever. I don't got nothing to, you know, it is what it is. Get out of here. I'm not talking to him. I ain't got nothing to say. He's no longer federal. And, you know, to say that and then to change, you know, to let my custody dictate a new, you know, fucking new diagnosis or treatment plan or whatever. Don't you find that, folks, quite suspicious, you know? And so I talked to these nurses. You know, these nurses are, they try to help, right? You know, most of them are decent. Some of them can't even speak fucking English. So, you know, you got a huge language barrier. And you know, I'm not trying to be a dickhead about it, but, you know, if she can't understand me and I can't understand her, what the fuck are we doing, right?
Right.
But, you know, I mean, if this guy would have brought me down and would have let me partake in the decisions about my own medical health care and treatment plan and told me whatever and showed me the X-rays and went over it with me.
Treated you like an intelligent patient that had some personal concern for his own health. Right.
Right.
Which doesn't happen.
So, the long and short of it is, I don't know what the fuck is going on. The nurse seen the bent screw. The radiologist seen a bent screw. And, they were independently on each, they didn't talk to each other. They, you could see it. I could see it. I seen it. Staff seen it because they'd done enough x-ray with me in there to notice the change. It's the same guys. And, the bottom line is you go to a doctor and you tell him you're having some problems and, and then he just turns around and arbitrarily cuts your medication like, fuck you, for even telling me, and he puts not only now he's got my spine fucked up, he's got me in pain. Now he has my heart in jeopardy because I've been in the atrial fibrillation 3 times already. Due to the, everybody knows when you're in pain, your blood pressure goes up, heart rate goes up, and, it puts stressors on your heart. Well, that to a heart patient is like 100 times worse than anything.
Mm-hmm.
The cortisol release from the brain and shit. It's like 100 times worse. Well, this is a doctor, an alleged doctor that knows better, right? And it's like,
Mangala.
I knew it was coming. Right. Yeah, right. I knew it was coming, folks. And it came Friday. It came Friday, man, and I didn't expect it really, not in the form of medical, but it did. It's one dynamic, and I don't think they're done. Trust me, it's just now getting started, people. It's just now getting started. I knew it was coming, but I didn't, like I said, man, it's only one dynamic for now, and anybody, if y'all know me from Pelican Bay U, I had a back surgery that failed, and I have major nerve damage. I have a disability where I can push on the gas, but I can't pull my foot back because the nerve is dead due to the failed operation. And, all these other surgeries that came after were, trying to fix what that one did, And I'm still going through it with these people. I'm still going through it. And, for a doctor here to tell me that due to the fact I'm no longer federal and they're going to probably, they could cut my meds and blah, blah. It's like, why would you even do that or say that? Period. His name is Dr. Lane. He works for the ADSEG. And out of the blue, he just went on an asshole trip.
What about the fact that this professional could not be licensed in any other state, but in the California corrections? I mean,
right. That's the word, is that he couldn't be licensed in any other state other than California and given a job in a prison. And you looked up his fucking money making, man, and he makes a pretty penny. Just to harm inmates.
This dude makes almost $500,000 a year to be abusive. And his mission is to cut the funding going to the prisoners and enhance his personal funding, which I find disgusting because there's no Hippocratic oath being honored here. This is just pure sadistical, horrible, inhumane behavior. And I know you're not the only one. I know you're not the only one.
This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I wonder how many diabetics are going without, or people with Hep C or whatever that are just being thrown to the potter's field, I guess.
right? Right. There's many people here that had been on the end of this already with him. Now, like I said, I couldn't see it because it wasn't affecting me, although I was still like ready to fight. And now it came around my way, and it's all because, according to him, is in his statement, I'm no longer federal. I'm back in CDCR custody.
Here's the thing, though. This is nothing new for us. We've been fighting this battle
No.
with different doctors for a while.
For years, baby girl, for years. Hey, folks, my wife and I have been fucking going through this shit for years. Now, I'm going to tell you guys. I'll be open book, man. I'll tell you exactly what I went through. In Corcoran shoe, this is where I developed my heart condition. Atrial fibrillation is an irregular heartbeat that, if left unchecked and if left, as it is, can cause you like 10 times more likely to have a stroke.
Or a heart attack.
Well, in a heart attack. Well, I was on pain meds in Corcoran. I've been off and on pain meds since my first surgery failed for many years. Well, in Corcoran, I had an argument with the doctor over something else. And
you have 60 seconds remaining.
Let me call back.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a while now, and they don't relent. Absolutely. You're right, Paul G. Using his health issues against him. They have weaponized medicine. Excuse me, and they've done a dang good job of it. I mean, if torture is their torture is their end game, boy. They, between this and the food and the heat and oh my god. It's just so much.
For using Global Tel Link.
Yep, it is.
Okay.
It absolutely is. Paul G says he recognizes that what they're doing is torture. Absolutely.
Right. Who said that? Who was that?
Paul G. He's one of our regulars.
Yeah, get on, Paul. Yep, it's it is. It's straight up torture, man. Let me take you to this Corcoran trip. You're gonna shit. Well, when I was in Corcoran, I was given a lot of pain medication. Because of the ongoing surgical procedures I've had to do to correct the first failure. And so they left me on it, and then I had an argument with the doctor. The next day, they cut my meds cold turkey. Cold turkey after 2 years, 3 years of being on it, cold turkey, they cut it. Bam!
In the middle of summer. In the middle of summer.
With
no air.
It was July. We had 37 days or 41 days, I think it was 41, of 105 temperature plus. And we had no air whatsoever in the cells. And if you know anything about Corcoran, when you walk by us in the cells, we're sleeping on the concrete, on the ground, probably on one layer of sheet, because it's so fucking hot there, and they got what you call swamp coolers. And the main cooler's on a roof that's white, painted white, and it's 115 degrees outside, beating on that swamp cooler, probably boiling the water that's going through it. So that's the type of shit that Corcoran has.
Well, thank God they weren't painted black.
There was no air.
Can you imagine if they were painted black? It would just absorb all that heat and make it even hotter.
Right. At the time, there was no air. And we're like probably about 2 weeks into it. So they cut me cold turkey. I'm going through it like you wouldn't believe, man. I mean, I'm feeling like I'm just like a day or a couple steps away from death. It was that bad. My body couldn't retain water due to puking it back up. I was so dehydrated I could take my skin on my arm and pull it up, and it would stay there. And so The next day, I go down to the doctor's. I'm in AFib. My heart is in AFib, but I'm seeing her for something else. She won't see me about my issue. Well, she knows I'm in AFib. My heart's all fucked up. On their monitor now. On their monitors, it's all fucked up. So they send me back to the fucking cell. I get to the cell. The next day, they find me unresponsive in the cell and rush me to the outside hospital where I spent 7 days because of their neglect. And it comes out that I have a heart condition due to overactive nerves in the walls of my heart. And
that was brought on by the stress. That was brought on by the stress.
Right.
In that situation, having
it was
taken
brought
you
on
off
by the
those
stressors
meds.
of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
The body goes through a physical stress you can't control when you're dependent upon medication. And then your body goes through this sickness and physical stress you can't control. And not only that, physiological changes inside of your body chemistry takes place.
And they didn't try to titrate it at all, and it was a pretty significant amount of narcotics and that you had to withdraw in that horrible situation.
45 milligrams of morphine a day, bud. After 2.5 years, I was getting it. And they didn't taper me down. It was just cold turkey, boom. And so, I sat at the outside hospital for a long time, 7 days for this issue. Well, the doctor out there made some recommendations, sent me back, put me on some meds, and I still had AFib. Atrial fibrillation is when your heart kicks into a different gear.
What happened? You cut out. You cut out. I don't know if you can hear me, but you cut out. Crapsicles. All right.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We're going to hang up and he's going to call back. There's nothing else we can do on that. Yeah. I did a lot through that to get some recognition, some action. And I tell you, those people were insane. Just absolutely insane. Almost killed them. And it was like they were actively trying to. It was really horrifying. Really horrifying. And this was all done in such a peculiar way, that they would have these cells without any air ventilation and that kind of heat. And now we're back at it again. It's like you can't lose, you can't win, you can't do anything but keep fighting. Huh. He should be calling back any second. I like to play games on the phones too. I don't appreciate us one bit, but all we ask is for them to do their job, right? That's all. Just stop being so vicious. Just honor your Hippocratic oath. Live up to some sort of moral standards. Don't fuck with people. You want people to act a certain way. You kind of got to be the example. Yes, Tim K. We know that titration is the only healthy way to come off of those types of medications, and now they're going to do it again. The writing's on the wall. They're going to try to do it again, and we feel that well, I feel anyways that they made a mistake by not switching out the doctors before they made these changes. You're here. Hey, Ken, glad to make it. Brent's not calling back. I don't know what's going on. He probably had to restart his tablet. Let me see something. Oh, you want to update the? Of course, you want to update. Hold on, folks. I'm sorry. Yeah, his tablet is off right now. I don't know if he switched. I don't know what's going on. But bottom line, they're doing the same thing again. I've been fighting this battle with him. We talk about it in our older videos a little bit. We talk about Dr. Sayre. I mean, if you're not aware of Dr. Michael Clifton Sayre from Pelican Bay and the testimony from Dr. Allen, I'll go ahead and put it in the community where he speaks of how Dr. Sayre was praised for his torture techniques and something about he should be working there we go, at Guantanamo Bay because he's so good at his torture. And it seems that this is the systemic formula that they've been using. And I've been a witness to it now for 15 years. And, you know, when it's being done to you, what do? You do all you can. You do all you can. And, you know, it's amazing that we have this now. This
Can
way.
you hear me?
Good. Yes, you're back. You got cut off. I know they shut off.
Okay, so listen. They're playing games. They're playing games. They're playing games. They don't want me telling you folks what the fuck they're doing. They don't want no transparency. This is what they're doing. They just shut my tablet off, and they let it come back on, and then they like play with my phone app. So this is the custody here at CSP playing games because they don't want transparency about their corruption. So if it cuts off, just understand, folks, this is what they did because they're tired of the truth getting out there to you guys.
No.
And baby girl, you raise hell. You know what time it is.
No, in fact, you know, I was just telling the folks here how this was formulated from Dr. Sayre's practice and how that's now the systemic norm. And I'm going to be putting some stuff out there about Dr. Sayre, who, you know, conveniently passed away. Oh my God, I spoke to him once. He was so dweeby, it was disgusting. It's like you could tell the dude just really thrived on his little power trip of causing harm. And he was another one that couldn't be licensed anywhere but California prison.
Right. Well, you know, him, that's where my issue started from, you know. I'm sitting there, I lost my bladder control due to the nerve off your spine being impacted and crushed under severe pressure.
You got it back though, right?
And he's like, "Oh,
you got it back though, right?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, it came back. Yeah, but it was. I know, that's funny, but it ain't funny when you're going through it. It's kind of shocking because you're thinking you're paralyzed, but you know, and that's what happens, you know. But and I got this punk doctor telling me in my face to debrief, and he'll fix my back. To tell IGI what they wanted to know, and he'll make sure my spine gets fixed.
That was Dr.
And
Sayre.
I told him I fucked you up. That was Dr. Sayre at Pelican Bay. Well, since then I've had trouble, folks, with my issue, my spinal issues. And now this Dr. Lang is playing these games, you know, and it shouldn't have nothing to do with my custody being back in CDCR. But what you got to understand is CDCR is full of corrupt games. Like I could take someone off the streets and tell them this shit, and they'd be like, no way, man, I can prove it. I can prove it. Like, what these people do, they'll send you to a contracted specialist of their own, right? And he'll say, you need this procedure. They'll say, no, you don't. Send you to another one. They'll send you to another one. That one will back up the first one. You need this procedure. CDCR, CSPSAC will say, no, you don't. No, we know better. Then why don't you fucking send me to your own specialist twice, 2 different ones, and you don't like the recommendations that they gave you? It's because they want to cut money. They want that one recommendation that you're just buying, you're full of shit, you're faking. Because that fits what they're doing. And if y'all remember back in 2006, the federal government took over the medical system in CDCR, and they put the receivership in place as a watchdog. Well, that receivership turned into CCHS, which is now morphed in and merged into the CDCR.
It absolutely has. It absolutely has. And now they're not even denying that they're part of CDCR.
Yep.
So nobody's watching over them anymore. And they're actually the ones that are dictating the formulations of spending. But they'll give some fucking weirdo their trans drugs, or give them bottom surgery or whatever, but they'll let somebody that needs a liver transfer die, or someone who needs Hep C treatment die, or somebody like Brent whose situation could be easily remedied if they would just do the right things.
Do it. Hey, so check it out. They're giving these trannies these shots at $10,000 a shot, and just to get a fat ass and tits. And it's like, how are you spending taxpayer dollars on a fat ass and tits? And for a man, for a fucking grown-ass man. They're supposed to be man, I guess, right? I don't fucking know.
Well, it's pretty much been evident, but that all that shit is mental illness. So instead of treating their mental illnesses, they're promoting it.
They're treating them, giving them big tits in the ass, whatever. But the problem here is, you take a guy like myself and a few others that got serious issues, and you deny us medical, or you play with our medical, you play these games, you do this funny style manipulations to save $1, but yet you're giving these fucking weirdos $10,000 shots every week. And it's not only that. I mean, it's from the top to bottom corrupt, folks. I'm telling y'all now, and I said it before, that I knew it was coming. My wife knew it was coming. Even my attorneys, I think they know. And I got at them already about this shit, And CDCR in this place, they're not going to stop with their corrupt activities.
Listen, Tim K wants to know if we brought this to the state medical boards. We have. I did back when we were dealing with Sarah, and you would not believe the response that I got. They said he couldn't be held responsible because he was not the treating doctor. No, he was a supervising doctor, but he was not the treating doctor, so they found no fault in whatever it was that I was calling him out on.
Yeah, he wasn't the PCP hands-on. He was the one that's sitting back approving
or disproving
or denying whatever treatment that the hands-on said. And so if the hands-on refers MRI, okay? Well, to get that MRI, the CMO has to...
This call and or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
CMO has to grant it and let you go. I mean, they have to take you outside to get it, or on the truck in prison, because they got to pay for it. They're the insurance to it. Well, what they were doing at Pelican Bay, Dr. Sarah was denying all that. He was refusing all that, denying all that. And I was in the infirmary with my spinal, my first spine surgery fucked up, and he was there when I was in the fucking the fucking triage part of it, and completely, I was in 10 out of 10 pain. I couldn't even see straight. And he's in my face telling me to debrief and he'll fix my back. And I was trying to get up to where I can get my hands on him. And the cops had to tell him to leave, get out of there, because all he's doing is pissing me off. They didn't even like that, because now he's placing them in jeopardy. You know?
Right.
And this is how they are. This is how they are. And, you know, so I was fucked. I was fucked because I wouldn't debrief. And then finally, my wife put enough pressure on them from the outside, and they couldn't deny it no more. They couldn't sweep it under the rug. And they transferred me down to Corcoran. And they redid the surgery and a fusion, and it worked out. But I'm still stuck with severe neurological damage to my nerves and my leg.
And ambulatory issues.
Right.
Which makes it laughable, which makes it absolutely laughable that they said you chased down that dude that you were indicted for.
Yeah, because I ain't chasing nobody down on the yard. I don't run, man. I don't run from nothing. I ain't running to nothing. I'm walking as slow as a turtle, man.
What's that joke?
Straight up.
What's that joke about the two bulls and the cows?
Yeah. Why run down the hill and fuck a cow when you can walk down and fuck them all?
That's right.
That's a good one. But I mean, it's a fucked up thing, man. You know, it really is. I wanted to talk to you truth seekers out here, man, and I appreciate y'all's time.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And just so you know, this is not being taken laying down. We are being extremely proactive.
Oh,
Brent's attorneys are livid. They can't believe that this little little switcheroo is happening.
Yeah, they're pissed.
But you know,
my wife's pissed. I'm pissed. We have a few other people pissed. I got a reporter who's heard about it, and he asked me a few questions about it. He's pissed. There's a few other people that are pissed, and they're going to go up Dr. Lane's ass legally with the First Amendment rights. We have a right to express what's going on, transparency. I got a right to freedom of speech, you know. And now they want to fuck with my tablet.
And if they do fuck with your tablet, I will be right here to tell everybody everything that they won't let you. So, nah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right, baby girl. Mm-hmm. She'll let y'all know.
I ain't gonna let you guys down. I know that your interests are all about what's gonna happen next. What are we going to accomplish? What are we going to accomplish with this, other than getting Brant in the right place, getting him well, getting him home? But what are we going to do to dismantle the monster that is CDCR?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, we were listening to something today, right? Hey, check this out, folks. We were listening. I won't say who it was, but me and my wife was listening to this guy's show today, man. And he was talking about the prisoners' families. When you write letters to the wardens, on complaining or this, that, or on behalf of your prisoner or whoever's in prison, he said that the wardens don't even read your letters. It goes to a fucking low-level lieutenant, and they just give you some boilerplate response, like, yeah, we take everything seriously. They don't give a fuck, and that's the problem. It's a corporation, it's a big company, right? And, they sweep shit under the rug. They call you liar. Oh, he's a prisoner. I'm a cop. You got to believe me over this prisoner. He's a low-life prisoner. Man, that's bullshit. And I think there's enough you truth seekers and enough folks out there in today's world to see this scumbag ass shit going on in CDCR, in all these cop agencies, police agencies, and shit. You know, where they're falsifying stuff, they're lying, manipulating shit, and you know, I mean, look what we found out in this trial. You know, look at this jury trial my co-defendants had, and what came out. You know, and nobody even got indicted on their side, the CDCR side. All the setups, everything. The corruption. And see, my problem with this is, with the corruption and the medical side of it, baby girl, is the fact that the medical people take an oath to do no harm.
Right.
Well, staff don't, right? The staff don't. And so I take it like, I feel a little bit more insulted by the medical because they're supposed to be professional.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
They're not supposed to treat me as an inmate, or a prisoner. They're supposed to treat me as a patient.
Right.
You know, a true healthcare patient. You know, let me try to call back. I'm gonna call back and let's see what happens.
That's exactly right. That they should have some integrity, but obviously that paycheck means more. Big Tim, we're seeing the numbers growing. By the way, just so you know, 190 followers, which is awesome. It feels good to see that there's people who are catching in and wanting to hear what's going on. And you know, I must have breached a status in YouTube because suddenly they're giving me more information about what's going on my channel. So we're getting the word out. People are listening, and I thank you. I thank you very much for sharing our stuff, for getting us out there. You know, I always thought it was real amusing that Tony Della Torre and Powder just disappeared right when the trial started. I mean, right, all my speculations right there. What was really going on with that channel? I called it just you know, a rat form. And there's so much other stuff going on that's real that needs to be addressed that no, they'd rather pick on disabled prisoners. Go figure. And tell lies about them, and you know, more shall be revealed for sure. More shall be revealed. Come on, call back. I just love playing this game. You know, as you know, it's a real pain in the ass having to restart every 15 minutes when you're getting into a serious topic or a heavy discussion. It's a real pain in the ass. But hey, I'm really not complaining because I'm super glad that we have the ability at all. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm back. Okay. I had some trouble. I had to call a few times.
Figured.
So, we got any questions, girl? Any comments?
We got some comments. And we got we got people in here. We got all our favorites. We got Ken, who sent in his love, and we got Tim K. We got Outlaw News. We got and we got Paul. And let's see.
Everybody, I said Paul.
Okay. Yeah, they are. Okay, so well, Tim K says what they did cutting you off is contrary to the warnings on package insert. I'm sure you know this already, but it's disgusting what they've done to you. It is absolutely disgusting what they've done and what they're still doing. You know, there should be not just a titration plan because he's on substance that can cause harm just coming off it, but that he also has a heart condition, which will be
Right.
extremely exacerbated no matter what he does when he changes this. The plan is to get off that stuff, but here they are causing more damage to him and then pretending it's not there.
Well, it has to be, but it has to be done like the cardiologist recommended in a controlled
Right.
environment under IV, so I stay hydrated, and everything can be done intravenously and monitored, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards, right? But see, they don't want to fork out the money. That's what they don't want. So what I anticipate they'll try to do is put a motherfucker in their little infirmary and torture me that way. Because, in their infirmary, they got them J-cats back there. Them suicidal dudes.
Right. So while they're pretending to go through the titration program, they're really just creating a very hostile environment for you to suffer through.
Well, they do that. Usually I'm going on a hunger strike. I'm not going to eat point blank.
Well,
and they do some shit like, we got a problem.
Ken says it's all about the money. It's always been, and it unfortunately will always be. Yeah. Well, they also know that I'm not going to stop fighting, and if they bring any harm to my husband, the real fight will really happen, because I'm not going to let them get away with jack diddly shit.
That's my girl. And, hey, man, I've been through this for, 15 years now, baby girl, on this back issue. I developed a fucked up back by doing years of burpees, man. And us big guys, us tall guys, I used to do 150, 22-count burpees 6 days a week, man. And for 12 years, it just tore my spine out the frame. And I got shot years ago with the Mini 14. And so in my left upper femur bone, and I got a titanium rod from my hip to my knee. So it's never been right. And I was a kid back then. I didn't care what no doctor told me, man. I didn't care, man. I was doing my burpees. I was getting myself healthy. But years and years later, man, I just start having really bad spinal problems because the disc blew out on top of the nerves and smashed my nerves, And, it just, once they blow, you can't take it back. Once that disc blows and rips open and all that jelly comes out onto the nerve, it's bad. And so, instead of treating it, being proactive, they weren't even trying to be reactive, and they wanted to use 2006, when they isolated us in Pelican Bay Short Corridor, they took a new position against us, which was a proactive stance in shutting us down. Not being reactive and passive and keeping an eye out, but they took a proactive stance. And what I mean is, everything in my life, everything, my food, my mail, my canteen, my medical, my visits, all 7 or 8 dynamics in the shoe were used in order to cause the man in the cell stress, problems, so he'll break. And all it did to a real motherfucker was piss us off, fortify our foundation, our fucking moral integrity, and make us angry. And it makes us hate. And that's what they did to us. And, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I know anger and hate really well. And I can go there in the blink of an eye and then sit back down and eat cookies. That quick. And, I do got a soft spot for cookies. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But I can't get angry quick. And the Pelican Bay shoe and how they did us using medical and everything in our lives to cause us harm, it puts that in a man's soul, And, for the most part, I've been all right. But the bottom line is, they still ain't stopping. they still are not stopping this bullshit corruption.
No, and let's face, let's, I've done a lot to help you overcome a lot of that anger, and you get no credit for evolving like that.
Right.
None whatsoever.
Well,
They don't
baby
see
girl,
it
you
as
did
a
a lot more.
positive change.
You've done a lot more for me than I can even explain in words. And it's something that is beyond anything words to say. It really is. And you've done a lot.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
You've done a lot for my soul, my spirit, and the advocation you do is invaluable. And I tell you guys, man, you got people who got loved ones in prison, just reach out to them, man, and let them know, you're there somehow, some way. Because it's like, that goes a long way for us in our spirit. Man. So I just, you guys got to understand that I knew it was coming. I told y'all, I've been through this a few times. This ain't my first rodeo. Well, it actually is in prison. I'm a first termer, and I'll never go home. And I've been down 30 years. So, but this corrupt angle ain't my first rodeo, right? And I've seen a lot. They can't get nothing past me. Mm-mm. I know every trick of the trade that they do. Mm-hmm. Every trick, from the custody to the medical. And I'm on them. Therefore, they try to do everything they can to kill me. They try to do everything they can to shut me down, and so forth.
But this time you've got a whole platoon behind you.
That's right. That's y'all, the truth seekers, and my wife, and everybody else.
And your attorneys and advocates who are out there helping, and anybody who's fighting for their own loved ones on a similar level.
Yep, that's right. That's right, folks.
Thanks, Tim. Tim says he's glad we have each other. Tim, I've never met anybody like Brant that was as honest and pure-hearted. Even in that horrible environment, he has a pure heart that you just don't see too often.
You make me blush, baby girl.
Say all the good ones are taken. Yep, all the good ones are taken now that I got mine.
That's right. That's right, woman. That's right, baby girl. The thing is that you definitely have healed my spirit. You've helped me in many, many ways, man. I can sit here without nothing in the cell. As long as I know I got my wife out there, I'll be here butt-ass naked in the cell and fucking in a bunker. As long as I know I got my wife out there fighting for me, I'm good. I'm good. Bottom line. They cannot break me, man. They've tried for many, many years to break me. They've lied. They've used rumor control. They've used slander to try to break me. It's not going to happen. I'm going to yard, and I'm going to die for mine, point blank. You're not going to break me. And they want to try it through medical once again.
Tim.
We're going to do this again.
Tim over here saying he's glad we have good lawyers. The funny thing is I had been fighting for Brant since I met him. I mean, from the screwed up charges in his original case to this medical stuff. And, I prayed and prayed and prayed we could get some lawyers on board. And, prayer's pretty powerful, but it's also pretty tricky because the only way we were able to get these lawyers on board was to go through this bullshit RICO.
Yeah, me getting indicted. And what she means by my original case was what I took you guys through on how
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It's the rundown I gave you guys on my original case and how I was done in that jury trial and ended up with triple life, and it's just a fucked up thing. But, It's like water off a duck's back, man. That shit can't faze me. I just want you guys to know, I think it's been long enough that the public has been blinded to the transparency of CDCR, and y'all have no lack of transparency, excuse me. And I think it's been too long, man. And the power is this. Here's the power. And I'm telling you now, this is what they operate on. They operate with the cloak of being cloaked. They operate behind this curtain. So when he leaves the prison, he can go home. Nobody knows what he's doing. He comes to the prison and turns into fucking, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde shit or whatever. And, when they are able to operate on anonymity and secrecy, that's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
But you kill that back.
Especially when they're holding all the money.
Wait a minute. And you peel that back, and you pull the curtain back, and you see who it is, and he sees that you see him. It puts a different spin to it, man. It puts the real shit to it. And to me, and I told my lawyers, I told the hunger strike lawyers, I told my wife, I told everybody I come across, folks, the power is in knowledge. And if you got the knowledge of what they're doing and who is it doing what, they can't really operate in secrecy no more. And that right there is why they have fought tooth and nail to keep us silent, to silence me, to silence Ronnie, to silence the next, thank you, to silence the next man, on what's going on inside these walls, and then what they'll do is they'll coerce these SNYs into their scripted story and telling you what they want you to believe is really going on, Then like, here's an example. A year ago, a tour came up through here. What they do, took the whole tour down to SNY station. And what they do, after the tour left, they gave all the SNYs extra lunches. So.
And then the SNY went and gassed their asses.
Then the SNYs went and gassed.
Okay, so that's just how it works. There's a couple comments here you need to hear.
Okay.
Oh, Tim says hearing about the forged kites blew his mind. Yeah, no, that was some crazy shit. But Ken here says MSN just put an article.
60 seconds remaining.
MSN just put an article out about you and your plea deal yesterday. So that article is out, and
really?
I haven't seen it yet. But you need to call back. And
okay, I'll call back. Let me call back.
Call back. We were gonna make this a short one, but that never happens. That's okay. Lots to talk about. Lots to get out there before we're silenced. Let's see. Okay, so I'm trying to look for that article right now. I'm gonna assume the author, because
link.
Okay.
Back. So they did an article on my plea deal, huh?
I'm trying to find it.
Well, again, I filed, like I told you guys, to undo it. I filed to vacate So, and I'm sure they would. Somebody would probably end up seeing it, you know. But right on again. I appreciate the heads up, bro, and I truly appreciate that.
So,
but as soon as we read it,
yeah. And Tim also says so many Americans are locked up and more people are learning firsthand about the reality of prison versus common perception or misconception.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's it, man. You know, we're sitting at the prison. We're not sitting at the prison in inadequate medical, fucked up food, fucked up torture. That's not what we're sentenced to, you know. But that's what they do.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. So, you know, I knew it was going to come sooner or later. That they would probably do an article, but I don't know. I'll have to read it, baby girl, and we'll talk about it next time.
Well, I should have. I should have gotten a notification about it. I'm not seeing it. So.
Well, the last couple of times I noticed you haven't gotten any notice, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's real weird. They don't always come up or.
Okay, well.
Here's something.
So what we'll do is we'll talk about that one then. We'll go ahead and end this one.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So we can let the folks get back to y'all's evening. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Ain't that right, baby girl?
Absolutely. Thank you all for showing up. We really appreciate it. And I hope you have a good rest of your night and keep on fighting.
Yeah, Outlaw News, Paul G, Tim, all you guys, man. The Worthy, we send our best to y'all. You know who you are. And thank you for your time. And
thank you for participating in our chat. Kansas, the story was by Veronica Catlin. I don't know. Okay, if it is an old article, and she said some very scathing things, and we're looking forward to possibly getting her for slander at some point in the game. Because
so it's the old one he's talking about?
Yeah, that Veronica Catlin one. Remember, I read it too just recently. I don't know why it popped up, but there will be a new article coming up. Very soon about the vacate, we believe.
The vacate, right. So, yeah, they can, real quick, they should, hang on, babe. They should, when they see my vacate motion hit the docket, they're probably going to do a new fucking article on it. But y'all stay tuned, man, and I'll keep you guys posted. And just know I send all my best and mando saludos a ustedes siempre. Pásala bien, todos, and I send mine, and take care of you guys, man. Until next time, seek the truth. Seek the truth.
There you go. Yeah, thank you so much. I'll let him know your final comments of support, and until next time, stay real. Have a good night.